Hey there toys and collectible fans, this is Fly Guy for TekSushi.com. Can you guess what I'm reviewing here? Look at the size of this thing. This is huge, but what a toy, or what a figure. It's just, what a collectible. It's all three wrapped up. Amazing. Iron Monger Hot Toys is the figure we're looking at today. 1/6 scale, it's their Movie Masterpiece Series 164. And let's just get a look at that box. So some great looking artwork there from, I think you actually almost see the kind of blueprints at the end of the movie if I remember, but that's what it's almost like on the front of that box. A full, almost replica there of the Iron Monger on the box, all done in beautiful looking silver paint. You get that on the side of the pack too. Oh, what a size of this thing. And there's a bit of a close-up on who's been involved in the casting crew in building this thing. And let me take, if I had a hats off, amazing stuff they've done here. Wait till you see this thing. It's just absolutely stunning. So that's the box. Nothing much to show about it. It's very simple and plain. There's nothing else inside. I've taken everything out. There is no stand that comes with this. No real extras. It's a pretty straightforward piece, but let's get on with showing you. In fact, just before I do, one of the things we'll show you is the instructions. So that can make a big difference to getting things on this. So let's have a look at this and we'll zoom in a bit more on what's going on here. So you'll see from the instructions there, so we've got one large sheet here, double-sided, but you'll see from the instructions there, if I hold this up hopefully close enough, let's see if I can get this right. You've got some instructions there to basically remove the chest piece and allow you to get access to the figure inside. It is a little fiddly, and the problem with this is, it's not a problem, but it feels slightly fragile when you're prizing this expensive-ass toy apart, and as a result, it can get a little scary. I'll try and do this live. We'll see whether we can get into this toy easy enough. But that gives you a snapshot, and it lets you see inside to Jeff Bridges, basically, inside this figure. Now, it's not a full version of the Jeff Bridges character. It's just a head and some shoulders, but it still looks rather epic. Going to be very hard to display and review this, but I'll certainly do my best. So there you go. It's got some light up features as well, which we'll show you in just a sec. And further down there you'll see some information about getting the back off this, getting the lights working, switch on to activate the LEDs, some replacement battery stuff. What else have we got down there? A weapon, the cannon launcher itself, and that fits into the back, which is rather cool, it has to be said. And we've got an extending, although that's how you put the rocket launcher in there and slot that back. But there is a part of this which allows the machine gun to extend. There we go, the very part I was talking about. Gives you a little bit of a tick for yes and cross for no, in case you didn't understand how not to rotate the figure in certain ways, because you may break some of the pistons. It is a little bit fragile in parts that way, but there's a rotation, so it's got a full 360 waist, which is pretty stonking. Lots of great finger articulation and general articulation all over, quite frankly. It's really pretty damn cool. Articulation in the legs, swiveling at the hips. You've got articulation at the knees and down at the ankles and the feet. You can see that there. Flaps, isn't it always about the flaps when I do reviews? For the kind of jet thrusters and flying this thing, which is the only kind of downside to this, because how the hell you would display this thing flying is beyond me. It's just so heavy, you'd need one huge ass stand. But there's a lot of the, that's the instructions. Now I know that's a little bit boring at first to show you, but there's a lot of information in there. As I mentioned, these are the thrusters which fit onto the figure at the back of his heels. But again, it's just impossible, I think, to almost display them with it, because the displaying standing down, these are too big and prop the figure too far forward. But at the same time, just how are you going to get up in the air and get a stand when it doesn't come with one? So, kind of hard. Let's get a look at this guy. He's heavy as. And I'm just going to turn on the lights, and you'll get an idea. Hopefully I'll turn on the lights. There we go. So let me focus in on this bad boy. There we go. It's an incredible looking thing in terms of the paintwork on it. It just looks gunmetal gorgeous. It's absolutely amazing in terms that way. It's pretty damn heavy. It feels worth every single penny that you spent on this, and let me tell you, this was a pretty penny, close to the $500 range. It's not a cheap figure by any means. There is no Sideshow exclusive on this figure. Pretty much this is where I bought it directly from them. Had I known, I would have picked up from my local friends here in Australia, shopforme.com.au, to save on shipping. But funnily enough, even this figure, two of them came from me. One of them was for DC, our other reviewer here on TekSushi. And the shipping alone all the way to Australia here from the States for two of them, remember the size of this guy, he's absolutely massive, $25. So not quite sure what was going on, but yeah, there we go. We wanted to pre-order this the second it came out, and we did, and well, here you go. Just jive flipping enormous, it really is. There's those flaps at the back of the legs, and I mentioned they pop out, and you've got these kind of thrusting parts, or kind of, I guess, the guide when he's flying, and they moved in a little bit as well. So there's the two holes you'll see for the jet thrusters, and you can see they would plug in the back there, but they're just too big for almost just too big for the ankles, so they sit a little weirdly. I've got to change this thing around, it's so heavy. Oh my god. So we get all this articulation on them. You can see the joints will rotate there. There's a limited amount of articulation that can move. You'll get a quick grasp yourself of how far you can move this thing around. But we also get slight articulation at the sides. Not a great deal, though, it has to be said. You get articulation moving at the elbow joint. But one of the things which has mega articulation is the hand. Full-on rotation around there, but also all these finger components are all, and they're really chunky as well, which feels really secure when you're playing around with them. So they all basically extend out, so you can get a Iron Monger to give you the finger, even if that's the wrong finger. So this also, I think this almost twists in. That gun cavity there allows you to twist that out. Extends it a little bit more. There we go. And the gun cannon there, God, this thing's so big, is soft, kind of squidgy material, but that really looks like a kind of gun. You know what I mean. My brain's just gone dead looking at this thing. But ammo belt, or ammo kind of round that's got in there, it really looks the part. Just even all the pistons, the way this thing looks in the gunmetal of the body, silver in parts, darkened and weathered in others. It's absolutely stunning. I could not stop saying that last night with DC, and my good Mrs. Fly Guy here as well, a Fly Girl I should say. She'll kill me now. Just looking at this thing, just seeing how amazing this toy is. One thing to say on the back of this, the flaps which allow you this to open to get into the power switch, it feels like it's going to break, but it doesn't. You've got to just bend it down a little bit and it allows you, it feels just that little bit flimsy, but it's not. This other back flap here allows you to open this up and get this cannon up here rotating and back inside the actual unit. So it rotates 360 degrees, but then it goes back, you pull it back and it just slides down inside the back of the body. I've got it displaying out. This entire missile here itself pops out. It just slides into the tray. I'm not going to try and do this one-handed, but it will come out. Trust me, that's how I got it in. What else have we got on this guy? Nothing else really moves or rotates. The same on the other side of the hand. They also light up, I should say, which if I can find the small switch. There we go. So you've got the same arc reactor kind of like style of hands. On both hands, I should say, by the way. It's not just that other one. Let's see if I can turn that one on too. Yep. There we go. So we've got a full-on glowing hand and eyeballs and the arc reactor in the centre of him. He's just stunning. Absolutely, unbelievably stunning, this toy. This is probably the best toy I own. There you go. The articulation alone, the size of it, just makes it, the rotation, you'll see as that moves that there, they just expand out. You get such a great kind of a piece of articulation on this guy. It moves around very flexibly. The legs, this one moves a little easier, I think. It's pretty solid, but it does bend. And the same for these heel component parts at the back. And a little bit of movement at the front there as well. as you can just about see. So the pistons do move in and out, which just makes it just phenomenal. There we go, you can almost move that round completely like that. Move your flat back and then put in the jet thrusters and have them, God, this weight, how it does it, fly away. Right, what else? We're going to show you inside this guy. Now, bear with me 1 second while I prise this apart, because it's a little bit awkward. You twist the chest plates out, and the instructions give you a little bit more. It's almost twist and bring them down. Then kind of pull this part out. It's a little weird, you have to get used to it. But again, it feels like you're going to break it. I hope I'm not going to break it. It's just very, very hard to do with the size of the figure itself. What I'll do is, there we go, out and down. That's it. Now, inside we then just lift up the head. How freaking amazing is that? Inside is, I can't remember his exact name from the movie, but Mr. Jeff Bridges nonetheless. Basically, it's again part of a figure sitting inside there. You get the chest and the body part, and the head comes as a separate attachment that you then put on once you first get him. But the likeness is, the camera's not showing it too well, but it is pretty on the money, it has to be said. He's also got that chain around his neck, which isn't showing too well there. Let's see if I can prise that apart a little. If that helps at all, you can see a little bit more of that there. But let's see if we can get a better close-up of that face. Now, don't be afraid with that chest plate trying to get in there. There it goes, a little better. So you can see the quality and the detail in his beard, even down to the eyeballs, is pretty damn stonking. So it really looks, it's hard to see it here, but I'll pull back and just show you. It really does look as if he's inside this suit. So if I try and focus a little bit more, the scale and the size of it does give you kind of believability almost that he could be sitting inside this thing. So again, really well done to Sideshow and the designers of Hot Toys. It's an amazing piece. Get it, absolutely, if you can. I really highly recommend this, well above the tumbler which we reviewed recently on the channel. This bad boy is just the best thing. Yeah, possibly the best thing ever bought. This really is such an amazing toy. Not much else I can show you. Again, we've got the rotation on the waist. But apart from that, that's pretty much it. It's not really feature rich, but there's enough features on this to make it interesting. The articulation's just enough to make it damn cool. And the paintwork and the guns and the faithfulness to the movie is just stunning. So there we go. I think I've given this one enough praise. So let us know what you think. Comment below or on facebook.com/TekSushi. I should mention, by the way, the head rotates fully, and you get a little bit of movement back and forth. So loads of articulation. Let us know what you think. Facebook.com/TekSushi or in the comments below. Is Iron Monger rocking your world like he's rocking mine? Let us know, and we'll see you for more reviews from me, DC, in FX France, coming up soon. Cheers.